Hi friends, I have some more crafts for you today. We are going to do two different kinds of sun catchers. And I'm so excited because I love these. They turned out so well. So the first one we're going to do is just like this. Isn't that cute? So cute. Simple, easy supplies. The second one we're going to do looks like this. Isn't that awesome? These are actually 3 of them together, but I love it. So I'll show you how to do all of this. Alrighty, for the first one, all you need is a mason jar ring, and you need a coloring sheet. I have some templates. If you want, you just reach out to me. And then you need to have some string to hang it up with. And we need some oil. So you can either use some vegetable oil and some cotton, or I didn't have it at the time, and so I just used spray, and it worked great. So that's what I'm going to use today, but either one will work just fine. So these are the coloring sheets that I have. They're free online. I just printed off. Super cute. So I can send some to you if you want. And so this is where I did one already. All you do is you take your, you can color the whole sheet if you want. That's fun. Oops, I forgot you need something to color with. So you can use anything. You can use watercolors or pencils or markers. I'm using colored pencils today. So then you could color the whole sheet if you want, or you could figure out what looks cute in your ring, what you want to look at, and then you cut it out, and then you color what you cut out. That's what I'm doing. So I am picking a bee, and I'm just going to draw around the edges so I know where to cut. So some scissors will come in handy. And then you want to cut on the inside of your circle so that it'll fit inside of your ring of your mason jar. And so those come in all different sizes. The wide mouth would be really cool. I think these are just standard. I don't think they're a wide mouth. But those would make some really nice sun catchers. See, just like that. I've got a little bit of the words, but it doesn't matter because it's going to hide right in there. See? Just like that. So mine's a little big, so I'm going to trim it up just a smidge. And so before you add your oil, you'll probably want to figure that part out. So, yeah, I got a little bit outside my lines there. So I'm going to trim that up just a smidge and see if it'll fit in there better. Yep, that's perfect. All right. So then, since I didn't color the sheet first, that's what I'm doing now. And I'm using pencils, color pencils. And that's what I used for the demonstration I wanted to show you. And it turned out so good. It looked really good. So you can color it any way you want. And this is not out of a coloring book. Like I mentioned, it's just a coloring sheet. And I got it actually off the internet, free off the internet. But if you have a coloring book, you can use it. The paper is a little different though, right? With a coloring book, the paper is, I don't know, it usually has like a yellowish tint to it or a tan tint to it. It's not usually crisp white, which is fine, but the texture is different. So all you have to do is be careful adding the oil. You don't want to add too much oil. So I am getting nice, cute colors here that I'm coloring my, I cut out a bee and it's got a ladybug. And I think that's going to look super cute. So one thing you want to be aware of is you want to color the whole thing. you know, sometimes we just color the picture itself, right? And we leave the rest of the page white. Some people color every speck of your sheet. That's what we want to do today. We want to color in every speck. Just like on this one, I have a light blue because I thought that made sense with these bugs flying around everywhere. So that's probably what I'm going to do here. But it's whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. Oh, and I am using nice bright colors because I love bright colors, and we are so close to spring. I can't wait. So I'm getting ready now for spring. And I love that there's no way that you can mess this up. It's your creation. It's a great activity you could do with some kids if you've got kids in your family. They would love that. I think, let's see, am I going to do light blue? Sure, I'm going to do light blue. I almost did purple as my background. That would look awesome too. But I chickened out and went to blue. So right now I've got all my little bugs colored. And I'm coloring in with this neat color blue. It doesn't say what it is. So all the white space is getting colored in with this. Now these are indoor sun catchers, unless you want to make them outdoor. I don't have the supplies with me today, but if you have some Mod Podge, you can seal it and put it outside. Alrighty. This is what my picture looks like. Isn't that cool? Now I'm going to spray it. So you are not sopping your paper. You are just getting, see how I just did a couple little squirts? You're just getting it on there to make the paper translucent, kind of see-through-ish. So then you just take something, I've got a napkin here, and I'm just tapping and drying out the rest. Now, if I had oil, I would take cotton and I would dab it on. I'm not soaking the paper. We don't want to soak it. So I don't know if you can tell what the difference is. Here, let me get the regular piece of paper. So it is nice and shiny with this oil. It's not dripping. It's not dripping with oil. Let me dry this off just a little more. It doesn't make your colors blur or any of that. There we go. But you can tell a difference. Oops, got it stuck on there. Between this and my coloring sheet. See how you can see through it a little better? I'm not sure if you can in this light or not. But you can see through it better. It makes it translucent. So it should sit out for like, I don't know, just long enough to dry. I'm trying to speed it up. But 5 minutes maybe, not even. And then I've got some glue, which I also didn't mention at the beginning. Aren't you glad you're watching the video so you can figure out what you need as we're going? Lord have mercy. All right, so then I'm just going to put a little bit of this tacky glue around the edges of the inside. Now, I already tested it, right? Remember that? I already tested to see before I even put the oil on that this was going to fit. My picture was going to fit inside here. So we're making it a little frame. So I'm just putting a little bit of glue around. And then you put the picture, the colored part in so that it's facing out. It's actually, the edges of that's going to touch the glue. And glue inside there. And that's it. Isn't that awesome? So good. So obviously it's not super dry yet, but I just have some twine. You can do string, yarn, whatever you have at the house. And I'm going to wrap around. I'm going to make sure that it's facing up, right? The direction I want it to face. And I'm tying a knot in the top to tie it on there. Oh, I had this one lid that I've never seen before. It but you might have. That was white. I meant to bring that one today, but I forgot. But it was not metal. It's white. It was really pretty, so I can't wait to make a sun catcher out of that one. I meant to bring it today and use it, but I forgot. And see? Easy. I just tied a knot. I'm going to tie one up here at the top. Or you can always tie it back down at the bottom. That's what I did with this one. I tied it back down at the bottom so I didn't have one at the top. I think I'm going to tie this one at the top. Just like this. Cut off my extras. And now I have two. Isn't that cool? Super easy, fun. It's going to dry a little bit. It's not all the way dry, but enough that we can finish the project. So that's one craft. Now here's the second one. What did I make this out of? Recycled bottles. Yep. Recycled bottles. Sharpies. Colored Sharpies is what I used. I think that would be the best if you have colored Sharpies. Even if you just have two colors, that'd be awesome. And I stacked them together to do three, but you could just do one. So I'm showing you one, and we'll see what it looks like. So they need to be really dark. I had an extra one that didn't work out well. I was going to show you, but it needs to be dark ink, because if it's light ink, it doesn't show near as well. So let's put that over there. And so what we need is a bottle. We need a bottle. We need some Sharpies. So I have some Sharpies. I have a pocket knife, and that's to put a hole in the top so that I can put my string in there. I'm using the same twine that I have right here. And I need a pair of scissors. So if you don't have a knife, you might want to use like a case cutter. But it's just easier. We're going to color this bottle as a whole big piece, but we're going to cut the bottom part off. So that's one of the things I'm using the knife for. I use it to cut the bottom off and to poke a hole in my lid. So let's get started. You can do any pattern that you want, but you need to have Sharpies that will show up, that you can see. And I picked a light one to start with. Daggone it. So I can't really show you, but I did stripes, and I'm going to show you how this works together. But I did stripes. This is also a fun thing you can do. See, maybe you can see this better. If you got some kids in your life, you might want to do this with you. You might need to do the knife and the scissor part. But they could do the coloring part. And Sharpies dry pretty fast. Ooh, this one's the best. This blue one. Can you see this? And I'm not being exact. I'm going to cut this bottle. It's not going to, you're not going to see it necessarily. But the darker you can get it, the better it's going to show up. Green. I'm going to go all the way around. So I just took the paper off of this bottle. And you know how where it seals on there, it has glue residue and stuff? I didn't worry at all about that. I just colored right over it. And it works. Worked out just great. So it would look really good if you just had 2 colors even. So if you don't have all these different colors, I wouldn't even worry about it. Just use what you have. So I'm using the ones that have, they call it fine point, but you know, have you seen the ones that you actually write with, the really, really fine point? Those don't work very well. It'll just, you got to put a lot more work into it, I guess. That's what I did the other one with. I wish I remembered to carry it in here so I could show you. I meant to, that's why I have it with me, but I forgot. But you can even see probably with these different colors, which ones are showing up better and which ones are a little harder to see. So like the craft before, those sun catchers were like indoor sun catchers. You put them on the inside of your window, unless you put Mod Podge around it and seal it. These are can definitely be outdoor sun catchers. They don't have to be, of course, but they look great outside. They're all plastic, so nothing's going to get messed up. It's not going to fall apart on you. I'm hoping it's a bird deterrent. I love the birds. You know, we just did bird feeders. I mean, yes, just recently. That's awesome. But at the South Center, Senior Center, we have cardinals, like all over the place, and mockingbirds. And they're gorgeous and sweet, but they attack my car. They're all over my car because they can see their reflection, I guess. And they just love my car. And then I wash my car and it's got bird all over it. It's like, ugh, frustrating. So I am going to put these out there near my car, away from the trees. Of course, how am I going to hang it up if I don't have it near the trees? I know, I can put it on my radio antenna of the car. That's one thing. Maybe if it's flying around and catching all this sun, it'll kind of spook the birds. I don't know, but I'm going to give it a shot, that's for sure. All right, I'm on my last color. So I did it each color twice, but it's all up to you what you want to do. Ta-da! The blue definitely is the best. But again, these are all the ones that are, they say they're fine point, but they've got this kind of a tip. And it worked better for me, at least, than using the teeny tiny tips. All right, now I have my trusty knife. Let's try to be safe. One, while it's on, while the lid is on the bottle and I have some stability, I'm gonna make a hole for my twine. See, it held it for me. That should work. Now, see, I didn't color this bottom part. I'm just gonna cut it off. So once you get the hole poked, plastic's really easy to cut. We've used plastic bottles for a lot of our crafts here. So you already know that. So there's no sense in me coloring that part. Or if I had kids, I was doing this with some kids, it would make sense not to color that part. Not to have them color that part. See? Alright, we're done with this. So I just cut the bottom off, and now I take my scissors. And if you notice when I was hanging that up, some are longer than others. That's because I'm not being really consistent, I guess, cutting. So I'm just starting at the bottom and making swirls. So the thinner you make your cuts, the longer it's going to be. I'm not sure how big this bottle is. It might be like a liter or something. It doesn't have ridges on it like some water bottles, but any empty bottle will work. And that might actually make the coloring look even cooler. This is all smooth. I thought it was big enough that I could show you guys what I'm trying to do. So I'm just spinning it, see? I'm just cutting. I'm not worried about it being exact, because as you saw with my finished one, it's not exact. It does make little edges on the plastic. So you want to be careful not to cut yourself. And I go all the way up to the top, but not up to the, I go up to that top part of the bottle where it curves back in, but not all the way up to the cap. And then I don't know if you can see it, but it's got little ridges here from where I went cut, cut, cut. Each time I got little ridges. And so I just go back behind and just trim them off. Trim off those ridges that come up so that they're not sticking out. See, just like this. So I just follow the pattern. Trim that off. I didn't do too bad today. You can leave it on if you're just putting it outside. I mean, you're not going to see it, but it doesn't take a second to trim these off. Just like this. So then now we have one done. And I'll show you what it looks like to just do one, and then what it looks like to stack up these three. You can stack up as many as you want. It's whatever you feel like doing. So I got this little plastic falling on my workstation, so I might want to do this over a trash can. Almost at the bottom. What's nice about working with plastic bottles, they're really easy to cut. So these aren't the best scissors in the world, but they did a fine job. That's nice. All right. Oh my goodness. All right. Now, this is what one will look like. Just have one. So, which is beautiful. And again, remember, this is what three looks like. See, they're all different sizes. Because I cut them different. This one is super long. They're all the same size bottle. Isn't that funny? They're all the exact same bottle brand. But anyway, so we have a hole in here, and we just take some twine or whatever you want, and feed it through the hole, and you want to tie a knot on the inside and the outside of this knot so it doesn't slip away. I'm going to use my scissors to help poke that through. In there, twine. So I'm going to tie a knot on the inside. So it won't come through. But I'm going to tie one on the top too. Just to make sure. Make it go all the way down. Yep, so I have one on the inside and the outside. So you can just screw this back on. And you're ready to go. Tie a little loop on the top and hang it up. So if I'm layering like this one, the bottom one needs to have a lid. But the other ones, see this top one doesn't have a lid. See this one doesn't have a lid. They don't necessarily have to have a lid. So water though, rainwater is going to go down in there. One thing you could do if you wanted to, so this one's a group of three. One thing you could do is poke another hole in the lid that goes to your top bottle and feed this string through it and tie it. So you have a lid on the top one and a lid on your first one, your bottom one, but the middle one doesn't have a lid. The middle one definitely doesn't need a lid. The top one doesn't need a lid, but it might make it look better because this one looks nicer with the lid on it, right? It might make it look a little better. It doesn't really matter. It's all personal preference, whatever you want to do. But let me show you how to stack them. So say I'm going to do one of 4. So we don't need this right now. Here's this one. See how this opens up? Just stack it through the top part and the lid fits, the top part of the bottle fits on all the other bottles. See how the tops are stacked, but the streamers are not stacked. They're free flowing, so they can go where they want to go. Don't try to feed this thread all the way through all the streamers, then it's not going to flow. I've already gotten this one twisted, but the wind's going to do that enough for you anyway. But that's it. That's how you make them. Isn't that easy and fun and so pretty? Put my lid back on. I'm ready to go. Here's the other sun catcher that I made at the beginning. It's dry now. Ta-da! That's it. Sun catchers. Spring coming. We gotta get ready. Thanks for joining me. Hope you had fun. And we'll see you next time.